Hello. Uh, if you don't know the drill, I'm just gonna share some links around and then, drawing. I don't have anything particular in mind. This is just my doodling time. Hold on, I'm like halfway done. And I think I'm gonna do a new canvas just because I can. Okay, I'm done sharing links. Can get to the meat of it now. Well, not actually, well, almost. Okay, alright, now. Now we can draw, such as, you know, the way of these days. Eh. I was gonna make the canvas a bit bigger, but why? Only the real freaks out there are gonna be zooming in on the details. Most of you will. Most of anyone who sees this will uh, have their look see, perhaps throw a little like my way. I really don't know what to draw. I'm just gonna start out with some weird shapes. Oh no. Is my tablet doing that thing that I hate now? It used to do this weird pattern that looks like that every other pen stroke, and it really fucked with my process because I do a lot of hatching. I've decided to draw a vendor before I know what he vends. His purpose will appear in time, as all of ours might. And I've put this thing a little bit off kilter. I can see. At least that's how it looks. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit off balance. This thing looks like a splash here. Maybe his stuff is spilling over. But what stuff? Maybe it's like... I'm trying to think of what you could buy that comes in a vat like this. Pickles. He's selling pickles in one giant brine tank. And everything is going awry. You're gonna put a little bit of slack in this strap here to make that more clear. That'll do for now. These legs are a little bit too straight for someone who's about to lose their stock. Now I feel like I have to build a whole scene around this guy just to make some sense of why his stuff is spilling over. To do that, let's see. We're gonna put a vanishing point here. I don't like where that vanishing point is. Or do I? Nah, I don't like it. What am I doing? I'm scrapping everything. Instead, I'll do some storyboarding. scene you probably won't even recognize. Hopefully, it's even possible for you to see it at some point in the future. But that time is not now. I'm still writing. And I've been writing for way too long. I'm in way over my head. And I've changed my mind again. We're not doing storyboarding. Because I don't know. I feel kind of... The thing that I have in my head is kind of in the middle of the project. And I would like to focus in sequence. If we do any storyboarding, it's going to be incidental. I mean, I'm gonna need a reference for a hand flipping some cards. I can't remember what it's called when you throw cards from one hand to the other hand. You know what? I'll just look that up. Does this thing... Does it not? Does it not have a name? I guess a throw. I guess it would be called a throw. Now I have to dig through our beloved Google Images for a faithful a reference that isn't AI generated, because they're everywhere these days. I'm surprised I'm not seeing more in this query. Alright, so this direction is all wrong. It's close, but it's wrong. This also feels wrong. A lot of this feels wrong, but I just need to find it. It's in there. I think if I put this person facing this way, I can make this work. Right? Something like that. Need to find a different reference. Close but not quite. Close but not quite. Why are almost all of these results are women? Which is interesting. Google sitting with legs crossed and tell me if you also have like 90% images of women with their legs crossed. This is uncomfortable. Because most of them have exposed legs. I don't know. Is it just me? Is that weird? Well, there's a drawing of the pose that I want, but not the pose itself. You know what? I can work with the front-facing image. It's fine. So, in order for this to work, because the legs have a thickness as well as the bones, is that one of these is going to be slightly more bent than the other. And then somewhere in this fracas, we put the foot. And I'm going to have... should go like right here, I think. One side longer than the other. Gotta make it proportional to the rest of the dude. And also make sure this perspective makes sense. This already doesn't make sense. I've failed. It's also wrong. This helps me kind of associate the offset the angle of the object that I'm looking at. Drawing these circles here, that is. And I don't want to focus on details before I get the gist of these proportions right. So for now, I'm going to leave that as is. I say as I work on it more. Yeah, I don't like that. Deal with it later. Uh, and I switch my references, and I take a chip and eat it. The year is 2008. That joke is hilarious. When did Death Note come out? Is 2008 too early? That feels too early. Now I'm gonna look this up. I don't know. Maybe that joke was funny in Japan. The first episode apparently released October 2007. I don't know what that means for the English dub, and I'm not going to look into it any further, but whatever. This joke has gone on too far. And then all in between here is the cards. Almost looks like a person, right? Throw in the muscles where the muscles should be. Squished up because they're bunched together. Hip muscle, thigh, kneecap, something like that. Maybe not there, but like there. Yeah, kind of like here-ish. Then all this connects. These toes are making me uncomfortable, so I'm deleting them. And don't mind me cheating. Got some of these angles wrong, I think. Can be fixed. Something like that. I'll find it in there later. But I do need to block in the gist of it. This might be. I don't think I've ever done a hand pose like this before, so this is going to be interesting. If you know anything about my art, which you probably don't, you may know. Wait a minute. Okay, we're fine. I thought I totally fucked up the framing of my stream, but I think we're fine. Is it too much to ask of you, my one concurrent viewer, to tell me if you can see everything all right? And here, how's my volume? It might be a lot to ask. There's probably a lot of lag though, so who knows? I'll come back to that way too late while I come back to my reference here. And I'm going to go ahead and block in these cards because that's going to inform the finger position here and where the tension's at. At least that's the way I do it. I'm sure there's a faster way to just, I don't know, have lots of skills and experience. That's wrong because this needs to reach the thumb, which is going to be like out here, I think. No. Yes? No? Hold on. I need more blocks. Then pretend that we can see through the hand here to understand where that's coming from. So it should be like there, I think. Because, yeah, that looks like a thumb. We're going to go with it for now. And I'd happen to know from personal experience that when you do this throwing cards thing between hands, they kind of come out at a little bit of an angle. So I think I can suspend the disbelief with my potentially inaccurate progress here. Then we haven't even talked about his face. Put it at a little bit of an angle, just for a bit of character. I don't know if you knew this, but skulls are kind of coconut shaped. Or at least that's how I think of it. In that, or maybe the image of a coconut that I have, one that's had the green part chopped off, and it has kind of like a flat cylindrical side and a slightly conical top and bottom. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Maybe not you. Actually, I think this thumb should be out because trying to catch a bunch of the cards is gonna put us like that, I think. Something like that. Flail out these fingers as well. So we're probably This is going to be a little bit of a tough angle here, but I think I can do it. Just leave it like that for now. I'm pulling this finger too far out. Should be like here, I think. And then just do that for the others for now. I keep saying for now, but it's true. I have to compare things with each other later. Flip it around now to see where I'm messing up. But I like how leaned over to this side this figure is, so I think I'm going to try to lean them forward without messing anything else up. Because otherwise they would look and feel like they were going to be off balance, or like they were going to tip over. It's not ideal. And I think I have to bring them over a lot like that. Makes a little more sense to me. And I think all this still works. This is where the cards will be, and they'll be kind of haphazard in here and clean coming out of here. Speaking of, I still need to figure this out. Now, this is probably kind of hard to see, especially because I didn't do it right. That's more like it. And I'm going to have a bit of an eccentric finger out here doing its own thing. 'Cause sometimes that's how hands are. Gripping air. Weary Radish Fleas, the #1 fan, place of honor. You are the #1 fan. That much is true. Out of all the fans that I have, you are definitely the one. All one of them. That's you. Thank you for joining me, Ronald. Giving me that sweet, sweet engagement for my content. I feel like the more I mess with this hand, the more I'm messing it up. That's why I'm not going to work on it anymore. Later. It's a time for later. So the humerus connects to the scapula and other stuff through some muscles and ligaments, but otherwise is basically just floating there. And then I like to think of muscles as like these groups of ropes, which isn't entirely inaccurate. They're very long fiber cells. Hence the term muscle fiber. It's around this point where I would say, this is all wrong, and then I just start over. But we're gonna push through the awkward phase. Because I know if I do keep chipping away at this, then it won't feel like that eventually, but first it has to. Or at least that's what I think. Wow. 3 views already. That's something. Trust the process, exactly. This guy gets it. Excuse my crinkle crunches. I don't know what I was thinking here, but in the inverted view, it looks wrong. Should be more like here. I think. Therefore I am. Subscribe right now. Stupid. Okay, I've lost the hand in these cards, and I know I just erased it deliberately, but I've lost it. And I need to find it again. Tricep, deltoid, bicep. And it's starting to look like a person. This whole hand looks a bit small to me. So does that arm, but I'm not just gonna expand the whole arm. That could mess with the other geometry. So I got the biceps wrong. I think they should connect more like here. On the humerus. Yeah, that looks a bit more natural. You've got your trapezius muscles. And I forget what this one is called. That's basically the building blocks of your neck structure. Then all of this is more meat and rib cage. But much of this is probably going to be covered in clothing, so nothing matters. In order to give the illusion that this is turned more inward, I'm simply going to shorten it and add this, what's it called? Trapezoid? Yeah, trapezoid shape. And then, just like I did with the other one, I put in the structures for the toes. And then we draw some toes, to my dismay. To many of your dismay, I'm sure. It's a necessary evil. If a foot cannot fit into a shoe without the removal of toes, then what kind of society are we building? Unless you want to remove toes, then by all means do it. That is your decision. And I think you should have a right to it. Yeah, it all looks wrong. Like, I can't figure out how it looks wrong, but I'm pretty sure it looks wrong. I think I'm probably going to deal with that in the next phase. This is a character that I haven't really properly gone through the work of designing. I fell into that world building pit of focusing on a specific sect and or nation, and kind of neglected some certain areas. However, I don't think the story is one of them. It's got arcs and beginnings and middles and ends, and it is, in theory, a complete thing. And that's all that I care about. What is going wrong here? I think that does it, right? Not quite. I believe this all needs to be more this way. It's not perfect. Doesn't have to be at this phase. I don't like this. Whatever happened there, I don't like it. Not sure how I'm gonna fix it yet, though. This looks fine to me. But this I don't like. I don't know what happened to this leg here, but I'm gonna need to fix it. I keep saying it. But I mean, what else is there to do? You fix it or you don't. I feel like sometimes I click my scroll wheel one time and it zooms out to heaven, and other times it's gradual and I don't. Is it the speed that I'm scrolling? Because there's no way I'm going all the way that far out with a flick of my pinky. Maybe I am, but I think I know my pinkies. They're very well trained. It's closer. I think it's just the length. I think if I pull this way, that'll look a little more natural, right? Yeah. Eh. It's closer. I think it's bent in too much. Just making sure they're roughly the same length. Or if it's gonna be bent in, it needs to be further out like that. Something. I think that's what I'm gonna go with for now. His crotch ends there. His ass is presumably somewhere in that area. One could only guess. I want this guy to look a little crazy, or to come off as a little crazy in the story. So, I'm gonna make them pose weird. How's that? I think I mentioned this in another art stream, but I saw the 28 Years Later movie, the new one, The Bone Temple. It was good. I don't think I've seen a zombie film actually delve into curing them in the way that this one does. I guess I Am Legend kind of does it, but the zombies, I don't know. I don't like the zombies in I Am Legend very much. They're supposed to be sentient, but they can't communicate in their native language anymore. They like groan around. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like the I don't like the I Am Legend zombies very much. But I'm liking the direction that the 28 Days Later series is going with it. Welcome to the stream, single concurrent viewer. We are drawing this person and figuring out our structural problems, which I think I can see one. No way. Thank you for the subscription. I think they just said that they can't watch it, but hi, if that is you. Anyway, where were we? I was fixing up this arm. Yeah, it's way smaller than the other one. Like, yeah. I need more foreshortening. There we go. Look at that. Much better. Yeah, that looks better, I think. A lot of this is kind of confusing to look at. I'll probably look at this tomorrow and be horrified at how it is, but, that's tomorrow. Tonight, we get to block it all in. Oh, I do yearn for the step in my process where I actually get to draw stuff. And this is still a sketch here. My goal is mostly just to make everything about what I have already done more legible to the eye. Smooth out some of the kinks and stuff. You know how it is. I'm sure you are a creative person. Wish I could find some music to play. I could make some music to play. I don't wanna. Well, I do, but not for this. Besides, I don't even know how I would do that in a way that's not obtrusive, obstructive to the creative process. That is the creative drawing process. Also gonna add some texture to help make some of these elements a bit more clear. And speak into the microphone to make my voice more clear. It's a good thing I like drawing hands because, boy, do I choose the positions. Oh, my leg is falling asleep. Gonna add a clavicle here just to make all this make a bit more sense to me. Kinda ugly, but we're working with it. And I'm not going through the detail of the toes this time. It's not necessary. The structure is there. I know you all are dying for feet, but it's not happening. Not here. And not for free. Ha ha ha. I think I could turn this in a little bit more. Do you feel me? Except it's not like that. That doesn't work. Oh. I don't even know what I pushed there. That was fucked up. Maybe it's a waste of time, but I almost always draw the full. I draw a lot of a skeleton underneath many of my figures. Kind of like this. I think this collarbone is a little too low. It should be something like that. Yeah, that looks more correct. As for your face, full lips on this one. And I'll need to find some way to add mischief to this smile. Oh, yeah, I don't like the way this is looking already, but we'll fix it in time. We'll fix it, he says, as he creates more problems to fix. We will fix it. I don't want him looking at the viewer though, because the mischief of this character is not like that. If anything, they're looking down at their hands for better sleight of hand control. So that's going to be roughly where the brow ridge is. Eyebrows. Now, I don't know why, but I can already tell this face is going to give me problems. Something like that. Actually, that was easy. Nah, I don't like it. Yeah, it'll do for now. Well, I have to do some other things, but I'll be doing this again on Friday. No one's gonna see this part. You're all gonna watch the three of you that click on this post live stream will watch like 40 seconds into it max and listen to me fumbling around with my mouse or whatever. But if anyone does happen to see this, I'm going to be doing another